99% of the entire world is addicted to something or the other, whether it be drugs, cigarettes, pornography, food, or simply scrolling through Instagram reels or YouTube shorts. Similarly, the system has put us into a secret addiction that we are yet to discover. The other day, I was in a meetup of one of the communities that I'm a part of where I discovered a shocking fact. Apparently, there is a law in India that guarantees base pay to salespeople whether or not they perform well, which basically means whether or not they get a sale, they're gonna get paid anyways. When I heard about this, I was like, that is a really interesting way to trick us into poverty by making us addicted to getting a salary at the end of every month. Now, what do I mean by this? What I mean to say is, salaries, base pays, or regular payments is a secret addiction given to regular people just like you and me to keep us believing that we are achieving something when we are actually not. You see, it doesn't matter whether you're an employee, salesperson, or you're a freelancer service provider doing under 2 lakh rupees. All of us have the same addiction. Now, before we dive in deeper inside of this concept, let's first understand what causes addiction in the first place. There is this amazing YouTube video, which is a TED talk by Judy Grisel that talks about what causes drug addiction. And when I saw this video, I was like, that is so similar to regular payments or salaries addiction that is given to every one of us. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to share the link to that video over here so that you can go ahead and watch it yourself. Please watch it 4 times, 5 times, or even 10 times until you really understand the concept of what causes addiction, drug addiction. And what I'm going to do in this particular video is I'm going to play a part of it, and then I'm going to pause it and share an analogy to share with you how it has the same effect like drug has in our body. Regular payments also have the same effect. Okay, so without much ado, let's get into it.
As of 2021, more than 36 million people worldwide were estimated to be experiencing substance abuse disorder. This condition spans a spectrum of patterned drug use that causes issues in a person's life. At the more severe end of the spectrum is substance addiction. To understand why some people are more susceptible to addiction and why it can be so difficult to treat, let's take a look at how addictive drugs affect the body. When someone repeatedly uses an addictive substance, their brain may adjust to account for its regular presence. This is called tolerance. It diminishes the drug's effect and means more is required to produce the same experience.
Now you see, getting regular salaries or payments have the same effect on us. It builds tolerance in our system, which means more is required to get the same feeling again. That is why employees chase the next better job and freelancers and service providers chase the next best client.
Alcohol, for instance, increases the transmission of chemical messengers like endorphin and GABA, which promote sensations of pleasure and calmness. When someone uses alcohol frequently, their brain will adapt to its presence. So when they don't use it, their brain receives fewer signals from those pleasure and calm-inducing neurotransmitters, which impacts their energy and mood.
Which is why it gets difficult over time to quit the job and start our own business or do something different than what we have already been doing that might give us better results in our freelance journey. You see, we tend to get into what my friend calls the too comfortable zone. This shows the exact reason why we feel scared to go from regular guaranteed income to working on a way that will make us much more than what we are currently making.
In addition to the unique effects each addictive substance has, all of them alter the release of dopamine in a brain region called the nucleus accumbens. This area is part of the brain's reward pathway, which is sensitive to experiences that give us pleasure and drives us to repeatedly seek them out. The reward pathway is essential to our well-being, but addictive substances also exploit it. When someone is repeatedly using a substance and their body has adapted to its presence, they may develop dependence, where the drug is necessary for them to function comfortably.
Now, isn't it the same case with guaranteed payments, salaries every single month? You see, when we know a set amount of money is coming to at the end of every single month, we tend to put our lifestyle to match the money we make. When we get a better job or we get a better client who pays us more, we update the lifestyle. Now we are in need of the salary or the next client to support the lifestyle that we have built for ourselves, right?
Meanwhile, repeated use can decrease the influence of the brain's cortex, which is responsible for driving deliberate decision-making and limiting impulsive behaviors. and it can increase the influence of the brain's subcortex, which is crucial in habit learning and impulsivity. Together, these changes can make someone feel a lack of control over how they're using a substance. This can mean suffering in other facets of their life and taking risks to continue using it. If the substance leaves their system, their body's equilibrium is disrupted, so they may experience cravings that motivate thoughts and behaviors of seeking and using the drug.
Now that explains why we crave to keep moving on to the next shiny object over and over and over again.
And if they continue without the substance, they may experience withdrawal. Opioids, for example, relieve pain and induce sedation. Withdrawal from them causes heightened pain, anxiety, and insomnia.
Well, this is why whenever we try something new and don't get the desired results, almost instantly, we tend to believe that it might not work for us. And we get off of what we were doing until it does work and go back to what we were doing before. Even though we know what we were already doing wasn't already working, which is why we tried this new thing in the first place. You see how amazing this is?
The faster a drug reaches the brain and stimulates the reward pathway, the more addictive it is. For example, heroin and morphine have similar effects, but heroin's chemical structure enhances its ability to penetrate the blood-brain barrier and bind to specific receptors. This makes it faster acting and more addictive than morphine. Meanwhile, compared to nicotine patches and gum, regular and electronic cigarettes are more addictive because smoking and vaping deliver nicotine to the brain fastest.
Now mark how he said the faster it reaches the brain, the more addictive it gets. What Mujahid says is the moment you know you are getting paid at the end of every month, the more negatively addicted you're gonna get to that particular thing.
Depending on their chemical structure and mode of delivery, drugs vary in how addictive they are. But people also vary in how susceptible they are to substance use disorder. Scientists think this is due to a mix of life experiences and genetically inherited traits, though neither predetermines addiction. Trauma and mental health conditions appear to make people more susceptible, and overall, using addictive substances before 18 is considered a strong risk factor. This is in part because the reward pathways of younger brains are especially sensitive.
Meaning that from childhood, we have been programmed in a way to believe that a job is security, but in reality what they are doing is putting us in a race with people just like us, whereas they get to send their own kids not to schools or internships, but to practical field experiences. Now, I don't mean to say that addiction to money is bad. That's really not what I mean. There is good addiction to money and there is bad addiction to money, and there is a thin line between both. First, we have to understand that money is a byproduct of the results we bring to the people that we work for or we work with, right? It doesn't matter whether you're an employee, you're producing results for your company. It doesn't matter whether you're a service provider, you're providing results to your clients. It doesn't matter whether you're a salesperson, you're providing results to the thing that you're working for, or if you're doing it for yourself, you're producing results for yourself. So at the end of the day, it's all about results. So what is the difference between good addiction and bad addiction of money? Good addiction of money basically means if you're putting an effort into improving yourself and your skills to get better results while being addicted to money, it is good. However, if you're simply checking boxes or getting tasks done and you tend to believe that you deserve to get paid every single month because of checking boxes, then it is bad addiction. So you'd be asking, Mujahid, what could be the solution for this? So let's just start with where you are in your journey. If you're an employee, then what you need to be doing is understanding what result is your work producing for the company you're working for. For example, if you're a data analyst, then try to understand what is the data you are analyzing producing your company so much that they are paying you 35,000 or 45,000 or even 60,000 rupees a month. Now, once you understand the result that it is producing, you can simply go ahead and offer that as a service to other smaller companies or other clients who would want the same result, right? What you can do about it is go ahead and create a gig on Fiverr, Upwork, or different other similar platforms and start charging for the same services you're offering to your company right now. And once you start producing that kind of results to other people as well, and you start making at least 3 times of what you're making in your job right now, when it feels right, you can go ahead and quit your job and go all in on this. But There is a recent study that went ahead of 5,000 individuals, and the purpose of that study was to figure out whether it is good to leave the job and go all in on the business that you are trying to make, or it is better to stay at the job and then build the business on the side. According to this study, what came out as a result was that people who were in the job while they were building the business on the side performed 33% better than the people who quit the job and went all in. Now, why is that? The reason is that when we are making money right now consistently every month, we have a family to take care of. And when we quit the job and we do not make enough money to even get the survival money for our family, we tend to be in a rush to trying new things over and over and over again because we are in need of the money to make our family survive. That puts us into pressure of getting results faster, which is not the right approach. But when we are staying at the job and we are simultaneously working on the business that we want to build on the side, we are tend to perform better because we have a sense of security for survival, right? And then once our business starts producing at least 3 times the revenue consistently for at least 6 months, then you would know, okay, this is the right time for me to go all in because you know your business can provide you at least the survival money. So if you're an employee, this could be the approach that you can take. On the other hand, if you're a freelancer or a service provider, rather than chasing 10 different clients or working with 10, 20, 100 different clients, start working with only a few and shift your focus from the work that you're doing to what result you're producing for that particular client. Now, it doesn't matter what service or freelance thing you're providing to your clients, all of them can produce either of these 5 core results. The 5 core results are more leads, more attention, more revenue, more sales, or more conversion. Now, it doesn't matter what service you're providing. You can always provide either of these 5 core results. Now, once you understand this and you have shifted your focus and you become result obsessed, you wouldn't have to care about the next client you get or how much money you're making, because those results will never let you go poor, because now you have earned a skill to get a particular result. Because at the end of the day, know that every client, every company, every business, and every individual just want the results more than the things that you will do for them. All they care about is the results. For example, if you're a Facebook ads marketer for local companies, then they do not care of how you're doing the ads or how many creatives that you're going to be creating for them. All they care about is how many customers are going to walk in their door and buy from them. So if you simply focus on the results and you work with a small group of clients to help them get to the results no matter what, get better results over and over again, first thing, they're going to come back and buy more from you. And the second thing that will happen is you will build proof for you that will build the foundation for you to go ahead and work with more people in the future. So it is this simple. So be okay with not making consistent income every single month until you prove that you can actually get results. Because when you actually can get results for people, selling becomes much easier, because you know that you can actually help someone by actually helping them. Remember, features tell, but results sell. So I'll see you on the next one. Till then, start selling, keep selling, and when you're done selling, sell some more.